Hello and welcome to the first episode of Masters Admit series. So today we have my very good friend Srinivas Natrajan with me. So he's a very special person. He got admits from UT Dallas as well as Arizona State University for his masters in CS. So hi Srinivas, how are you?
Hi Akash, long time no see. Hi guys, I'm Srinivas. I'm a fourth year computer science student at VIT Vellore. Someone who's doing the core computer science, not specializations. And generally, I'm someone who's now going down the path of applying for MS and right now currently in the waiting phase to see how it all turns out. But at least I got admits in a few decent universities, and I want to take this chance to share this on Akash's platform about the entire process.
Yeah, sure. Thank you for giving me the opportunity. So can you please explain your profile? Describe how you explored yourself when you first came into bachelor's at VIT, how you found out what your passion is about, and how you worked towards it, and finally how it all helped in your master's application.
So, as a student like who dropped a year after my 12th standard to prepare for JE, and obviously that didn't work out. I'm in VIT, but it's still like a very nice place. So for first year, I just carried on with the trend of just studying for coursework because that's all I had known at that point. So like, fine. I've been told that it's good to have a nice GPA, you have attendance exception and all. So yeah, I studied for first year, and in second year I thought, okay, since I'll try applying for clubs and all later. I should probably try something like app dev. I'm like, okay, Android seems the closest. Java, something like I could have kind of figured out because it's like C++, what we did in 12. So I started like dabbling in Android development with Java. And I later realized like the design stuff and all is not good for me. Like there's no great course and all for that. So I'm like, this seems like a little difficult. I'll try something easier first. And coincidentally, at that time, I also was taking courses on internet and web development. So I'm like, maybe I'll try front end development. It seems like a very popular choice among programmers. So I like learned HTML, CSS, and everything. And later on, during my semester break and all, I tried learning React.js. And by the time I got to React, I'm like, this seems like a lot of complicated stuff, creating components and all. I'm not very good with designing things. My designs look horrible. So I'm like, maybe the artistic side is not good for me. I'll stick to coding and basic backend stuff. But by the time I realized that, it's already third year. So I realized like the only thing that I've been doing consistently from second year, like working on ML, AI, data analysis, creating models and all of that. I'm like, I haven't dropped it till now. I always had an interest in it, so might as well like carry on with this as an actual specialization because everyone is like, there's a lot of jobs with pertaining to this. So I stuck to that, and that's what like I finally chose. But at least academically, I had like that kind of recognition from VIT. Like after our first two semesters, since I found like that simpler coming from drop year, I did well enough that I got like seventh rank within the entire computer science core department. So I'm like, some validation for my work. I might have not gotten JE, but at least VIT is recognizing me for my efforts.
Yeah.
So at least like that was there for me. But that's when I also realized like, maybe studying isn't everything. And obviously, US universities require a lot of extracurricular work, a lot of
Hmm.
self development and everything. So I'm like, this is a good time. I should apply to a club and all. I tried applying to IEEE and IEEE Computer Science. I realized I flunked the final interview because a bunch of seniors all sat in a circle and took interviews. So I'm like, this is not for me. This is way too much stress. So that didn't work out. And by the time I got to second year, I realized I can't get into a tech club now. So I applied for the debating club, which was like more open, and I got in eventually. So that was like really nice because speaking is like very important, even for all your exams, even for university applications and everything. I'm like, this is a skill that will help me like improve. So eventually, I got into the core committee for the debate club, took like leadership positions, management, and everything. And that turned out very nice. Like a good thing on the record.
So that's great. Like you tried out all the domains that were available, Android, web, AI/ML, and finally chose what stayed with you with the longest and did not bore you. And also for the clubs, yeah, you got into the leadership positions, and that would surely have added your values to your application.
Mm.
And also, congratulations, you got seventh place at VIT.
Thanks, Akash.
So, so with this profile, I have a very pestering question. Like VIT has really good placements and internships. So why did you choose to go to the path of masters? Like placements are a very lucrative option.
Mm.
Most of the people choose that. So what motivated you?
So I'm very embarrassed to say the main motivating reason is because my entire family has done it like that. So from the time I was studying for JEE, they're like, it'll help you get into a good college for higher studies. And because my dad did an MS, my cousins all went abroad to like further studies. And I'm like, this is like a natural path. Everyone has gone down it. They can give me like advice. Seems like something good as well. Because like, oh, US, I've always heard stories on how you get like much higher paying jobs, all the kind of cities, better environment. I'm like, I want to live in that kind of place. It'd be nice. But when I thought about it for myself, like, placement is also very good in VIT. I saw in second year, like, after all the companies came for internship, I'm like, placements actually look like very good. But I realized at that time that I hadn't started a lot of competitive programming. Like I gave up after first year, and I didn't know much. I knew theoretical data structures from courses, but I'm like, I can't solve problems on the spot. And all the major companies are already coming within a week or two. So I'm like, if I sit now for placements, I might not get something good. There's no guarantee. So let's see. If I apply for MS, I'll at least have 2 more years to prepare for this. So hopefully in the 2 years I'll start somewhere and try to get a job.
तो अनुशासन प्रतिष्ठा वो सब बहुत काम पे आया है तुम्हारे मतलब yeah, family can always be a great force motivating
Hmm.
you for MS, and also the opportunity that you get after doing a master's is much more than what you
Hmm.
get in India after doing a bachelor's.
True.
So coming to the specifications now, so we need to give some standardized tests like GRE, GMAT,
Yeah.
along with an English proficiency test. So which test did you give? I believe
So,
GRE is the test
uh,
that you would have given.
so applying for like engineering courses, GRE CE standard, it was waived off eventually because of COVID, but generally a lot of universities require the GRE. So, and for English proficiency, most places don't require it because if you come from VIT, which is like an solely English-based college, where English is the
Hmm.
only language for instruction,
Yeah,
they
medium of
say it's
instruction.
waived off. They say it's waived off. But if you want to apply for, say, jobs there or teaching assistantships to like work
Hmm.
alongside, they require some proficiency. So I wrote TOEFL as well. And
Okay.
GRE went surprisingly well. I got 327, and the quants I got like 167, which is like the main part of whatever for STEM courses. They look at quants a lot, and verbal is just like a minimum level. You have to pass this much. And for TOEFL, I got 118 out of 120 somehow.
That's a brilliant score, I must say. So
I don't know how I got it.
how did you
Uh,
prepare? How did you strategize your test, and what was your timeline that you followed?
but it's very simple. For GRE, if you've studied anywhere in India, your quant is basically done at that point. And everything you learn from 8 to 10 for basic mathematics is what they're going to ask. So you don't need some special preparation except like small things. Like they'll twist you with the question wording and all. So that you have to prepare, like practice word problems and all. But the rest of it depends on how comfortable you are with writing an essay, how comfortable you are with English vocabulary. If you read a lot of books, set you don't need any preparation. But if you feel like you need some work on your English, I think at least 2 months is a decent amount of time. Like every day, if you try learning new words, so what I did was I downloaded the Mantush free app from App
Hmm.
Store and just tried new words every day. Like it gives on different levels, starts from basic goes to advanced. And this isn't necessary to spend any money, but I found this nice service for $5 a month called GregMath. And for $5, he gives you everything based on English and quants for revision, all the problems for English, formats for like how to write an essay, what kind of like sample topics, everything was given. What kind of words will come, like the most common words, he gives it off, like specifically what he's seen in the recent years, and basically what all you need to cover, the type of questions, like different strategies, like you can narrow down the MCQs using mathematics, that kind of simple strategy. So that kind of basic stuff, 2 months math is all you need for GRE. And if you prepare for GRE, if you write TOEFL after that, it's pretty much the exact same thing, except TOEFL is even easier. It's just standard English. There's no test of vocabulary. There's no test of anything. You can write ridiculous stories as long as your basic grammar is fine. You'll get full marks. That's it.
Okay, so preparing for TOEFL is not such a hard stuff.
Mm.
GRE verbal will cover it all.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now coming to the application, how many countries did you target? Singapore, US, Canada. What all countries did you target?
So since most of my family, extended family, and everyone went to the US for studies, So US is the safest option because I have someone to guide me if I go study somewhere near where my cousins are. They can help me out and all. It'll be very nice. So initially I applied to only the US, and then I realized like, in the COVID, it's kind of difficult now. They might not accept applications. Visa might become an issue. So I thought, the next safest bet would be Canadian universities because they're also like really good. So I applied to like about two Canadian universities and backup there. I say backup, but they're still like really good universities.
Mm.
So those are the main two I focused on.
Canada is really a great place to study,
Because,
given the visa situation that US has now.
definitely.
So, so can you please share what was your safe universities? What was the universities that you targeted? And
So basically, for state universities, I applied to places like Arizona State University and UT Dallas because
mm,
they're, even though they're safe, they're like pretty good universities for computer science and have like are situated in like big cities, so there are a lot of jobs there. And for moderate universities, which are like more what I aim for, I applied to say University of Amherst, sorry, Massachusetts Amherst, and some of the medium University of California's like Irvine and all, and Davis. And for like the ambitious places, like I hope to get, if I don't, I might not get, but I hope so. It's like UT Austin, which is like a stone's throw from Dallas, and UC San Diego and all that.
yeah, I hope you get into them so that I'll
Yeah, me
get
too.
the opportunity to make one more video. Yeah. And for Canada, which all universities did you apply into?
Well, in Canada, I actually applied to only two universities because I didn't have a lot of time to prepare for that. It was an afterthought. So, as a top university, I applied to University of Waterloo because it's one of the highest ranked in Canada and it's like a pretty good program which encourages you to get a job in between. So, it's pretty safe. And as a safe university, just in case nothing works out, I applied to Concordia University, which is actually pretty good. It's in Montreal, so it's a big city with a lot of jobs, but
Mm,
it's like a safe place, much like Arizona.
yeah. The safe universities that you are stating are the target universities for some students. So your profile is really impressive, and yeah, and with your GRE scores, it must have given you the boost in the confidence that yes, I can uh, pick these universities as my safe universities. That's
Huh.
really great. And one
We
more
say
thing,
safe universities, but they're still like very good universities, so it's nothing wrong targeting them as well.
yeah, correct. So why didn't you target into Ivy League like UPenn, Columbia?
So I initially thought, maybe it'd be really nice, right, to tag getting an Ivy League university and all.
Mm,
It's a feeling of like, gives you some self-esteem, like I got into an Ivy League and all. But
yeah.
then I realized, oh wow, they're very expensive because at Ivy League, right, for the tag they charge that price. And
Yes.
usually the areas they're located in also have issues. Like, for example, Colombia doesn't, I can get in with my kind of scores, but Colombia's like tuition fees are already pretty expensive. Plus, it's also in New York, which is even more expensive than Mumbai. So, like, finding a place to stay is ridiculously expensive. Studying is also expensive. So, it's like out of the question already. And places like UPenn don't have as many computer science opportunities in like the Pennsylvania area. So,
Mhm.
I'm like, it's fine. I don't want to go into depth for the rest of my life. I'll choose better locations.
Okay. So you prioritize the geographical location, the universities nearer to the Silicon Valley rather than an Ivy League. Right? That's a good strategy.
Like I balance both the geographical location and the rankings. For example, a lot of places in Silicon Valley have like a lot of job opportunities, so you can choose like reputed universities in that area, or you can choose something in the west. Sorry, yeah, in the western is California, or in the east, somewhere near Boston is a nice place to apply to, or if you want to go near south, North Carolina has a lot of tech jobs there. So those kind of clusters are very to apply.
Mm. Okay. We are applying data analysis also in this age. So coming into your application for UT Dallas, so what all documentations were required? I believe SOP, LORs. Can you describe upon it?
So the main kind of documentation is required if you're in any university for any application for MS. You have to apply for your transcripts from your university.
Mm.
And most universities make it simple now. You can just apply it online through the website and they just mail it to you within the week or something. So that's just like a record of all the courses you've taken, your grades and all. So that your 10th, 12th mark sheets and everything, just scan it and keep it ready because those are standard things they ask. But for UT Dallas, is kind of similar where you have to write an statement of purpose. or why you want to go to that university, why they should take you in the first place. And much like any statement of purpose, it should basically cover who you are, like what your origin is, and what kind of experiences you have. Like, I worked in this kind of internship, or I worked on these kind of jobs. And as like a student who doesn't have work experience, I'm like, internship, man, I did these projects, inflated it a little bit, of course. I did, oh, I led this kind of team and everything, even though it was a small internship. And then the main part of every university is to go to the website, go to the list of teachers they have, and they usually have tags on their areas of research or their specialties. So find the teachers who align with your interests, go to their Google Scholar pages and all, and see the kind of work they've done. And be like, oh, I've also done projects like these. I think this is a very interesting idea. I love your approach to it. And so I would love to work with these teachers so in your SOP. So show the university like you took the time to research about it, you research into projects, and you're like excited to go there. So that's like the main part of your SOPs. And letters of recommendation is out of your hand to some level. You have to beg some teachers. In online semester, it can be difficult, I understand, because you can't go to their office and beg. But you have to, like, in advance, try to find at least 3 teachers to willing to give you letters on your behalf. And that is the biggest bottleneck in the entire application process. You can, as soon as the applications open somewhere in October, you can like upload everything, your SOP, your documents, your details. But your application will only go through when the teachers send their letters of recommendation. So you have to, as soon as they get their link, you have to like pray to them, like, please teacher, like send it as soon as possible because they have rolling admits. If I send it faster, then it might give me an admit faster. So that's what you have to focus on.
So the biggest bottleneck is the LORs. And for the SOPs, like, did you have to customize an SOP for all the universities that you are applying into, or it is just like some minor modification based on your research focus?
So obviously you have to make separate SOPs for different universities, but the main considerations you have to make is the introduction, the kind of work experience you have are generally the same for every SOP. Maybe you change around the internships you've done, or maybe the projects you've done, you just change around the details or add a different project instead. And obviously, you might have to adjust the word limit for different universities because in places like Purdue, it's 500 words. In places like UT Dallas and UT Austin, it's 2,000 words. So it can change a lot. And so that's what you have to mainly modify. And obviously, the key section where research into the university, the facilities they have, the teachers there, what projects they do that you're interested in. And that's what you have to change mainly because that's the heart of the SOP.
Okay. So as you said, the application started around October and 15 December was the last deadline. And you got
Yes.
your admission before the 15 December.
So I'd advise it to everyone to make sure to finish your like GRE exams by start of October or at least by mid-October. I wrote it in the first week of October and had everything ready by mid-October because the application things start early and the quicker you apply, the easier it is to like get on with your business because most of it is waiting. So I applied by November 8th to most of my universities. And for UT Dallas, I got a decision by December 10th, which is 5 days before the actual deadline to apply. So that rolling admissions will really help you there. Like, you get that psychological boost, I got an admit into some place. You'll feel good.
Yeah. And also UT Dallas, to be that
exactly.
place, that's really
Like, I
impressive.
got into good universities. I'm happy now.
Yeah, I can see happiness on your face. So, so this was about the application. So what would be your advice to the upcoming folks who are going to apply or are going to apply for MSc?
Uh, my advice would be if you want a higher chance of admissions, start early. You don't need, I mean, a lot of toppers start very early, but I'm speaking for normal students. Few months before writing theory itself, just have an idea like where you want to apply and see what kind of projects they're doing. And then go about like researching the top project ideas. I'm sure you can find maybe some GitHub inspiration or Kaggle inspiration to do similar projects and work on those. See like, oh, I have this in my resume, I have this in my GitHub now. So when you add it to your CV, which you have to upload for all applications, it looks similar to what the university is actually working on already. And for the preparation, you don't just make sure that whenever you're preparing, just do it focused because if you really focus, you can finish it within a week or two. It isn't much work to prepare for it. But for the most part, don't worry about it. As long as you passed 10th or even 10th, yeah, you can easily ace the cons section. For Indians, the GRE, especially the cons part, is a piece of cake. 160 is easy. The small marks for extra is like what you have to work on basically.
Yeah, sure. So thank you, Srinivas, and congratulations. And I hope to get into better universities in the upcoming months with the admin.
Thanks, Akash. I hope I do too.
Yeah, and then if you get, you have to do a video with me.
Obviously, but I'll share all the experience and knowledge.
Yeah, thank you. So this was about Srinivas's journey into UT Dallas. Stay tuned for part two, where we'll explore his journey into Arizona State University. So till then, Dua mein yaad